at it again.
What's going on, man?
Shit.
We're just telling a story at the end of the day.
You can enjoy a fully clothed, totally platonic cuddle session. Not sure what we're doing.
Are these lines safe? Yeah, we can literally say anything we want.
Talk mad shit.
Please continue to follow us. You can find us on all social medias.
All social medias.
All social medias.
All podcasts.
Everywhere that you could listen to a podcast, we're pretty much there. We are live, by the way.
Oh, okay.
It's on.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
what's up?
What's up?
How you doing, man? Shit.
Well, I traveled last week, so I'm looking forward to this week of not going anywhere.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be exhausting being on the road. And then,
but honestly, it's just the whole.
And you fucking drive, man, which is even worse.
Well, yeah, it's not too bad, like 2.5 hours. But after working a full day and then driving that shit, yeah, you're whooped.
Well, and then tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that after you work, you go up there and then you work and then you drive home after a hard day of work and then you go back to work the next day. Is that correct?
Yeah, but if I'm gonna stay like in Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I need to be there for 2 days in a row, I'll usually stay in a hotel. So it's kind of bittersweet because it sucks being away from the kid and the wife, but at the same time, like, and I've told her like, and she always laughs. She's like, "Oh yeah, fucking enjoy your vacation," you know. Yeah. And I'm like, "Yeah," because I literally sleep all night, which doesn't happen at home. Little dude's still sleeping with us. You know what I mean?
Well, but for me, like, because the potential for me to have to travel is on the table with my new gig.
Yeah, you mentioned that. And I wanted to ask you because I didn't think you did that before.
Well, no, I hadn't. But new job comes new responsibilities, new things.
That's right.
So, but yeah, so with this new gig, like, it's, they mentioned it when I was interviewing, and that's kind of a big issue for me, is because, I mean,
Would you have to stay, like, overnight, you mean?
Yeah, dude. Like, there was somebody on our team that he just went to Florida.
Oh shit! You go to Florida? That's far though.
He was gone for 3 days. So
yeah.
I mean, I have stuff that I work on that's in Washington State. So.
Oh no shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's all over the U.S., man. So.
Well, that's true.
So
Yeah, I mean, I've done like a week long. But it was like in New Orleans, and I was like, "This is fucking dope." But it's always bittersweet. You know what I'm saying? Like It is what it is.
What's weird is I've had people ask me, what my one of my favorite like vacation locales are, or like what places that I would go back to, and I always kind of gravitate back towards New Orleans, and they're like, "Well, dude, you don't drink. Like, why would you want to go back to New Orleans?" I'm like, you can do other things in New Orleans besides just get shit house drunk.
It was my first time being there,
like sober.
Since I stopped drinking. It's definitely like, let's put it this way. Bourbon Street sucks.
Yeah.
Because it's filthy. It's disgusting.
I didn't really love it when I drank. It was just...
I didn't remember
a means to an end, really. It wasn't like I didn't go down there for the sights.
No, right. And I'm not like one of those, "Hey, show me your titties. Here's some beer." I'm like, fuck all that. Like, that was lame to me. I like New Orleans for, the food.
Yeah.
The music is amazing. The culture in general, the above ground cemeteries are fucking. Houses. I was going to say, dude, it's haunted as hell. It's a spooky good time. I'm going to save you from having to fucking say it. But you went on the ghost tour down there, right?
Yeah,
I didn't do it.
So
you said
cheesy.
It was lame. Yeah,
it was so fucking cheesy.
But
I would rather have like a legit, like somebody just like just go tell me the fucking history, man.
Right.
It's gonna be creepy enough. There's some creepy shit. There's some fucking stories out of New Orleans I wouldn't mind telling on here.
Okay,
like
cool.
Not that happened to me, but like that's a legit story that really happened. They fucking found the shit, and they know that the shit happened. It's
nice.
It's not just like a spooky good time story,
dude. Yeah, put that on a list or save that one.
There was actually some stories that came out of New Orleans because we went post Katrina, obviously,
Right.
And like, there's some stories about some shit that went down after Katrina where it was you hear like everybody who owned a boat was like basically employed by the city to just basically ride around and
get people.
Well, no, like the above ground cemeteries.
Yeah.
So you flood that area, all those things pop out of the ground.
Oh shit.
So they literally like went around with like shotguns and rifles and shot holes in the fucking coffins to get them to sink.
To sink.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Like there were dudes like that. We went on like the alligator swamp tour,
Shit.
and no, I got pictures like fucking alligator on my fucking head and shit.
Jesus.
It was a baby. Like, I mean, come
Okay,
on, man.
right.
I'm not Steve Irwin or anything.
Right.
It's crocodile hunter.
Good eye.
Yeah. So, but no, the fan boat guys were like, no, man, that whole time they were like tourism was zero, you know.
Right,
so
right.
they're like, you know, we took it as a payday. So they were like, it was horribly sad, but you know, you got to do what you got to fucking do, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so when we went, it was last year,
I bet
you
bet
could-
your wife has like fucking zero interest in any of that shit. She's like, cool.
Yeah, I don't really. Yeah. Fucking. I'm from China, dude. There's all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
But when I was there, there's something about that. There's like an energy to that place because like even the taxi driver, you know, we were asking some questions. Hey, how's it? Is it, you know, people are building it back up. He goes, oh my god, like they all came together. Like that was some fucking devastating shit, and like everybody kind of pulled together. And he's like, it was funny. We were going to it was a B&B. And the boss man got the spot, and I'm going, all right, well, okay.
You went to a B&B with your boss.
Yeah, so at first I was like, that's kind of weird.
Did you
but
get a raise after that trip?
I earned it.
Yeah. Ain't a raise if you're earning it. Son.
Dude, well, he's cool, but it was like, all right, so he got a house, a B&B, and we're getting down, and the guy's like, now this neighborhood was completely destroyed, but as you can see, the houses are, you know, coming back up, and he goes, see the X's that are still marked? That means they haven't gotten to those yet. And I'm like, fuck, it's been years.
Dude, yeah.
You know what I mean? But like the funny part was we're turning we turned off a main street, and I'm kind of going, all right, this is a little sketchy. Oh wait, this is getting sketchier, and I didn't want to be rude because the dude's like, well, my mom lives right over here or whatever, and I'm like, oh fuck, how do I say? And then so we got far enough away from where he said his mom lived, so I felt okay. And I was like, so is this a okay area? I mean, I'm not from here. Like, can we walk to somewhere? He goes, well, yeah, this is an all right area, but. And he kind of looked at us in the mirror in the rear view like, yeah, okay, them white boys. And he was like, you know, I probably wouldn't go walking out after dark. I'll just say that. And I was like, oh, shit, okay. Yeah. So there's still some sketchy, you know.
Well, dude, for the record.
And it wasn't for the ghosts.
Yeah. For the record, Katrina happened in 2005.
5, right.
So that's 15 years ago.
That's fucking crazy.
And they still have X's on doors down there.
Yeah, dude.
Meanwhile, I think they've almost got Puerto Rico cleaned up. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but I think they've already got Puerto Rico pretty much squared away.
Yeah, they got screwed. Well, both places did, but
yeah. So,
yeah, that's a cool city, but it's a rough place to live.
Maybe you should have put that city on our fucking field trip episode.
Yeah, like I could have ever. Well, yeah, maybe I could have gotten you going on there. Ash is like, I'm going too.
Yeah, it would have been a fucking family field trip,
No
bro.
shit.
We would have gone one night down to some cool fucking spooky good time place.
That's
and
right.
then me and my family could have had good meals and a nice place to stay on vacation.
I love fucking crawfish and gators. Gators even good.
We going to Punderson Manor.
No, we're not. But shit, that's a good segue.
I couldn't have set you up any better, and you kept walking away from it. I'm like, all right, man.
I did too.
I'm just gonna let you fucking sink.
So Punderson Manor is one of the options on our You Choose, You Lose.
You choose, we lose.
We choose. Oh, Jesus. You fucked me up.
Yeah, there you go.
Rewind.
You choose, we lose.
We lose.
Field trip episode,
That's
which you
right.
can vote for on any of the social media outlets.
That's right. Well, so we're going to go to either the Hannah House, the Waverly Hills Sanatorium, Whispers Estate, or Punderson Manor.
Yes.
And while you're on Facebook or Instagram, hit us up at
Based on True Events Podcast.
That's right. Or on the Twitter
at podcast BOTE, BOTE.
That's right. We're getting better at this. We just point.
Yeah.
I like the seats like this, but we could see each other.
It's a little bit more ergonomically effective, I think.
We're peering through the
You
mics.
feng shuied the fuck out of this basement.
That's right, bud. What else we got going on?
We got the I Wrote for BOTE contest. Win yourself a pretty embroidered T-shirt.
So hold on, this motherfucker. So we sell embroidery machines, and I know how to use them. So I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna embroider this shirt," and he's like, really?" I'm like, "Yeah, motherfucker," and I did, and it's dope. But yeah,
it is.
We're probably not gonna send you an embroidered shirt.
Well, I mean,
made by myself.
Yeah, he's arts and crafting up his day, and meanwhile, I can't get him to return a text message because he's fucking with the sewing machine. He's trying to figure out how to make T-shirts with.
I think it's this button. Nah, dude, that shit's easy, man. If you know how to set it up, you just push a button, and literally it does it by itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's not a lot of skill.
Then I immediately discount any of your efforts.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I would have done it if it was time consuming.
Yeah, it's been weeks. I've had 3 sweatshops working on it.
Sorry, man. Yeah, we're just gonna get that shit printed.
Yeah,
but you will get a free T-shirt. I wrote for BOTE or something along those lines because we're not sure what the new T-shirt's going to look like yet, but it'll be dope.
We haven't even decided if we're going to do a different T-shirt just yet.
Yeah,
I think we're. I like I Wrote for BOTE. Maybe a different, picture or something related to the.
Yeah,
the episode that you suggested.
That's
that
right.
Keep
the suggestions coming because we will choose our favorite and for real
win a T-shirt every month.
Yeah, and if we don't choose yours, we still appreciate it. We're either going to do an episode on it at some point or keep them coming. Eventually, we'll choose one.
Yeah, and when we do one of your suggestions, we try to give you a shout out. Let you know
we do
that we're listening.
We're paying attention.
We're getting better at that. We were kind of piss poor at the beginning.
Yeah, we're figuring this shit out.
Yeah, so
we're rookies.
It's our first day.
It's our first day, but I tell you, the interaction's awesome. We hit 3,000 listens, dude. We're kind of blown away actually. So we're going, oh shit, we kind of need to step our game up.
Yeah. We're working on all the as insane as all of our schedules or both of our schedules are. Trying to figure out the finer points of self-producing a podcast with 0 staff. Yeah. And then, continuing to not only research and put out new content, but figuring out how to stay afloat in all the other areas of our life.
Content that's worth a damn. I don't want to spend all my time or all our time fucking, learning how to edit and put YouTube videos together when really this is what we're here doing, shooting the shit, hopefully coming up with some good stories to tell. Well, because that's what that's what we're doing.
Eventually, the goal would be nice to be able to, put together the pretty edited YouTube videos and.
Oh, it's gonna happen. We're determined as fuck.
No, we are. It just bear with us a little bit. So we are putting out things on YouTube.
We've actually got videos on YouTube now. We never give that plug or whatever, but you can definitely find us on YouTube at Based on True Events podcast, I believe it is.
Yeah,
so. I guess I should find out what the fuck it's called.
Yeah, that would be a place to start.
But we have episodes on YouTube currently, so we are going to do some actual video where you're going to see our ugly mugs, which I don't know if that'll.
I think right now we kind of
help or hurt.
We're kind of doing the making our own video clips or whatever we use is kind of a housing.
Yeah. We'll figure that shit out. And hey, if you guys have suggestions, comments, shit that we do that you like, shit we do that you don't like, fucking let us know. We'll we literally read all that shit. For real.
For real.
For reals.
So you up?
Yes, sir. You gave me 2 options last week. And I ain't doing either of them. Oh, cool. I'm pulling an audible.
As per usual.
As usual. Well, so here's the deal. I was going back and I was listening to some episodes, and your Space Nazi episode fucking stuck with me. And I was looking at, I kind of, down the rabbit hole. I stumbled across a slew of German I was like, this is an episode of ours that I fucking hear. What are you doing there?
So I found us on YouTube before you get started. It is based on True Events Podcast, but it's BOTE.
Based on True Events Podcast.
And then hyphen boat.
Oh, got it. Hyphen BOTE.
Yeah.
There it is. It's official.
Yeah.
Thanks. I was like, cool, I'm talking over here, and this motherfucker's listening to a previous episode.
I'm just going to pull up an episode that I'm rather fond of.
All right. Well,
I figured if we were going to plug YouTube, we should actually know where we're going with it.
No shit. Good call.
Instead of
you saved the day, man.
Yeah, because when you type in Based on True Events Podcast, it brings up Based on a True Story Podcast. It's harder for us to find.
That ain't us.
That ain't us. That weren't us.
That weren't us. Yeah. Subscribe. I always forget to ask because apparently that is. I mean, look, we're gonna keep doing this if we don't get any more listeners ever.
Yeah.
But what would be cool is to grow the audience, and so from everything that I can hear and understand, the way to do so is to get subscriptions. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Facebook, all that. Or I'm sorry, I'm fucking up. Apple Podcast, all the Spotify, all that other shit.
Yeah, and as we continue to move on, we're gonna offer additional content on all of these platforms.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We're figuring it out, like we said.
Okay, so Space Nazi.
So, yeah, so I was digging into the old episode, and that shit stuck with me, and so I just started kind of Googling, and then that led me down to, well, basically a slew of, German Nazi-related stories, of course. And some were... There's more that are Nazis winning versus losing, unfortunately.
Yeah. Wow.
But I chose this one that I'm going to tell you first to get us riled up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's the topic? Just German Nazi scientists?
No, I'm not doing anything. No. This is, well, let me tell this story, and then we'll get into the bulk of the subject.
Okay.
I don't want to give nothing away.
Okay.
But let's just put it this way. I like a good revenge story.
Okay.
But I'm going to start with this story, like I said, to get us riled up. Because this one kind of fucking pissed me off. The title, and it's on Haaretz.com, HAARETZ.com. I'll give them props for this because I'm going to read this part of the story from there. The subject title, the title of it is "My Aunt Had a Dinner Party, and Then She Took Her Guests to Kill 180 Jews." Good start, right?
Her aunt? Their aunt?
That's what it says.
Okay.
My aunt had a dinner party, and then she took. One morning in April 2007, journalist Sasha Bathiani, butcher that one, was approached by an elderly colleague at the Swiss Daily where they both worked at the time. The colleague waved a newspaper clipping in front of him. It was an investigative report entitled "The Hostess from Hell," published by a German daily. Glancing at the headline, Bathiani, I don't know how to fucking say that last name, didn't understand why he was being shown this article, but then he looked at the picture of the hostess and recognized it immediately. It was Margit, M-A-R-G-I-T. Which one do you think?
Margit.
All right, we're going to go with Margit. His father's aunt, someone to whom the family demonstrated the utmost respect and also around whom they tended to tread carefully. So he started to read the piece. In March 1945, it said, just before the end of World War II, Margit held a large party in the town of Reschnitz on the Austrian-Hungarian border to feat her Nazi friends. She, the daughter of the heiress of European baron and tycoon Heinrich Thyssen, and her friends drank and danced the night away. At the height of the evening, just for fun, 12 of the guests boarded trucks or walked to a nearby field where 180 Jewish slave laborers who had been building fortifications were assembled. They had already been forced to dig a large pit, strip, and get down on their knees. The guests took turns shooting them to death before returning to the party. The organizer of this operation was Margit's lover, Hans Joachim Oldenburg. Nazi. Margit's husband, Count Ivan... Count. Anytime you say Count, I'm just fucking evil. Sasha's grandfather's brother... Sasha's grandfather's brother was also at the party. It was the first time that Bathiani, then 34, had heard about the incident. He was shocked. "Let's set aside that it was my aunt," said Bethiani, who visited Israel last week as a guest of the Jerusalem Book Fair, is just an incredible, brutal story of this night. I mean, I know there are hundreds and thousands of other violent stories from the war. I don't want to compare, but if you read what happened that night, it was just unbelievable.
Meanwhile, the bitch ended up going to fucking Israel for a book fair?
Yeah, a Jerusalem Book Fair. Yeah.
Okay.
That's some sick shit, man. And that's the kind of stuff that...
Yeah, bro.
Fucking Nazis, man.
Fucking Nazis.
Fucking Nazis. Well, they're like I said, there's more stories about Nazi victory than there are about like their defeat, the Holocaust. Unfortunately, your Nazi space,
My space Nazi
Nazi story. I mean, that was one of them. That one stuck with me just because it was so like fucking crazy that he lived a great life and, you know, got away with just whatever, you know. And I know he may have not been the one pulling the trigger, but fucking
he was,
you know,
still.
And if you haven't listened to that episode, go back and check it out. It's fucked.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone.
Well,
sorry.
What was funny is it was an Audible, and it started off, and if I remember, it was pretty fun at the beginning. We were cracking jokes and shit, and all of a sudden, like I think halfway through it, I kind of all of a sudden realized what the fuck you were saying, and I was like, "Oh my god, 20,000, fuck, holy!" But yeah.
Well, that was just. I mean, he was definitely part of the responsibility of millions of people. Just 20,000 were just attributed to like one of his programs.
One of them, yeah, I agree. It was disturbing to say the least. But then the fact that he just lived until like old age and oh god,
yeah, and it was just all overlooked. Like, okay,
I know, man,
come on over,
yeah,
come hang out with the.
But there are, however, and I actually wrote this down. There are a few good ones that will help make up for that last one about that horrific ant and those fucking monsters that would just go out there and target practice people. It's so fucked up to like hate somebody so much that you could just. You know, I can't really fathom that. I can't get in that headspace. No. Thank God. So this is from the New York Post. I decided to take this article. You might have heard about these ladies, but I'm just going to start reading into it, and we'll discuss in a little bit. It's titled "Meet the Dutch Girls Who Seduced Nazis
I've heard
and Lured Them to Their Death."
Yeah, I've heard some of these stories.
Yeah. It starts like this, and this was a little bit hard to stomach. When she came across a Nazi killing an infant by repeatedly swinging its tiny body against a brick wall,
Jesus Christ.
Truus Overstegen didn't flinch. Now, her name is Truus. I'm going to guess Truus.
Sure.
Sorry if I'm fucking that up, because I do want to pay her respect, but Truus is that's how I'm going to say it. The freckled-faced teenager who was just 3 months shy of her 17th birthday when Germany invaded the Netherlands in May 1940 was a newly minted member of the Dutch resistance. She had been mostly assigned to hide Jewish children, political dissidents, and homosexuals in various safe houses throughout Haarlem, her hometown, which was about 12 miles west of Amsterdam. But when she saw
Haarlem,
it's Haarlem. So I'm
assuming
Haarlem.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
I was like, wait a minute.
It's near.
I was like, are we in New York?
No, it's near 12 miles west of Amsterdam.
Okay.
Yeah. But when she saw what she saw now forced her to act with a sudden brutal energy. In quotations, he grabbed the baby and hit it against the wall. Truus recalled, and I'm sorry, that's tough to hear. So yeah. I probably should have said trigger warning or something. He grabbed the baby and hit it against the wall. Truus recalled years later after the horrifying scene. The father and sister had to watch. They were obviously hysterical. The child was dead. Truus quietly pointed her gun at the direction of the Nazi and shot him dead. Thank God. That wasn't an assignment, she said, but I don't regret it. We were dealing with cancerous tumors in our society that you had to cut out like a surgeon. Truus, her youngest sister Freddie, and a law student, Hannie Shaft, were among a handful of young women who took on clandestine roles to establish Nazis during the Second World War. I read good. While women's resistance work was largely confined to spying, code-breaking, and typing, few actively dared to take on the work of the Dutch trio as underground assassins, which is pretty badass. So, you are familiar with these?
Yeah, somewhat.
Girls?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't I just know the story.
Yeah. That's the theme of the recently published Seducing and Killing Nazis, Hanny, Truus, and Freddy, the Dutch resistance heroines of World War II, which documents the exploits of the 3 young Dutch resistance fighters whose dangerous work set them apart. These women are badass. These women never saw themselves as heroines, writes the book author Sophie Paul, who is also a human rights activist in the Netherlands. They were extremely dedicated and believed that they had no other option but to join the resistance. They never regretted what they did during the war. I wouldn't either. Mm-hmm. That's one thing, man. It doesn't matter. I think I even wrote this down. It doesn't matter how fucking horrendous or brutal a murder is. If it's a Nazi, it's like everyone's okay with it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it.
No, I would agree with that. So when you were making the statement earlier about the dinner party, I'm sorry if I'm cutting you off.
No, go for it. Yeah.
The statement about the dinner party where they killed like 180 of the Jews just at dinner,
just
for fucking.
They called it fucking dessert, dude.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I left a lot of that part out. I didn't want to.
But
it's fucked.
So the reason that they could do all that shit and I guess be okay with it morally, or like at the end of the day, like the way that you would get a population to be okay with mass genocide,
right, is
you essentially have to dehumanize whatever you're doing. Right. So, they didn't look at Jewish people as being human anymore. And you hear a lot of stories about this, like especially like during slavery period in the United States, and then and we've done humanity has done horrible shit to itself.
Yeah, right.
Just because of one person's station is above another person's station.
Right.
In life, and that's how they justify any of that horrible shit.
Yeah, it's brainwashing. I mean, I don't know how else to think about it. I mean,
but
that's why I say I can't don't understand that headspace. And I hope I never could. Well, I mean, I'm glad about that.
One of the best kind of quotes, I think, I don't remember where this came from, but one of the best quotes I ever heard about World War II and the Nazis is somebody was saying something to this guy, and the guy was German and had survived World War II. He was a German. So everyone immediately thought, you're a Nazi, this and that. And he was like, no, dude, everybody forgets that the first country that the Nazis invaded was Germany.
Right.
Like, they took over Germany.
Right.
It wasn't everybody in Germany was like, fuck the Jews.
We're all Nazis.
Yeah. Like, no, a shit ton of Germans left.
Yeah, right.
Werner von Braun stayed, and he decided to run the rocket program and kill thousands of Jews in the name of science, and then we employed him.
In the name
but a lot of morally strong people walked away from Germany.
Right. Ran away. No shit. Well, yeah. I mean, I think to answer your question early on, I think this will be Nazi killers. You know what I mean? Because
Nazi killers.
The reason I anytime there's a horror film or any kind of film where there's some sort of, let's just say, brutal rape scenario, the only time that I'm okay with it, and I'm not okay with it, but for the record, but is if after that it's revenge, hardcore revenge, because what that does is that puts you in a headspace that you're okay with the death that is going to happen to that person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all right.
You've dehumanized the bad guy, like, with the crime that they perpetrated,
right.
And now it's okay that they get just
I spit on your grave. Yeah. It's okay that she's cutting his dick off with the big old.
She puts a shotgun up his ass. And
that was even and I'm like, fuck yeah, give it to him. I'm like, gross. So that's why the horrible.
I know that's yours. Like, that is, I would say, arguably your favorite genre in horror is the revenge flicks.
Flicks. Old Boy, you know what I mean? Like, fucking, and they all, every one of them, the good ones have a horrible scene
start really bad.
And they're tough to stomach.
Yeah.
But it makes the revenge that much sweeter,
Yeah.
And of course, they're fiction. So
you don't even need the foreplay when it comes to Nazis. You can just be like, they were Nazis. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So
Whatever you guys want to do to them.
right. I probably didn't need to start with that story. Hey, look, remember those Nazis?
Yeah, they're bad.
I'm going to talk about some killers of them.
You don't have to preface Nazi with anything.
Yeah, you're right. I could have left out the ants.
They're always bad. There's never like, oh yeah, but these were the good Nazis.
But these Nazis were okay. Although their roles in the underground, I'm getting back into it, by the way. Although their roles in the underground were at first confined to stealing Dutch identity documents to help persecuted Jews, the girls quickly graduated to more ruthless duties. Freddie and Truus were sisters. They were the sisters. Who was just 14 when she began to work for the resistance, was often mistaken for a schoolgirl and was dispatched as a courier delivering important messages during the occupation. But later, all three young women worked to seduce Nazis, applying makeup and bright red lipstick to pick up soldiers at bars and lure them to their deaths, which is just awesome.
Cool. I'm okay with that.
I'm not going to try to do an accent, but basically they would say, "Hi, Hans." I don't even know what the fuck.
Hi, Hans.
Hey, boy. Like, hey, bud. Hey, stud. Come here, they would call, often pretending to be drunk when they struck up conversation with their targets. I'm laughing at myself. Yeah. It's Hahieinz.
Okay.
Hi, Heinz.
Okay.
Is that better?
No. Okay. It's getting worse.
Moving on.
Yeah, just let's skip past the.
I'm gonna learn to edit just because of that fucking. Yeah. So Hanny, barely 20 when the Netherlands was invaded. Hanny was the friend of the sisters, or she became friend. Made a point of teaching herself German for the work. Lithe and striking with a red hair and milky white skin, she became an expert at starting seemingly casual conversations with Dutch Nazis and German soldiers, suggesting as they accompany her on a romantic walk in the woods, they would often be shot dead by her male comrades who were lying in wait. So that's the story that I remembered, is that they would, basically lure them out and then the guys would be sitting there waiting.
Is everybody up for a gangbang?
Everybody for a gangbang? Come on with me, boys.
Come on, it's train time, and we leaving the station.
Boop. Okay. While the three young women often relied on the men of the resistance for the ambush and shooting, they were not shy about using guns themselves and became expert at shooting targets from their bikes. In addition to German soldiers, they also went after Dutch collaborators, Polderman said. They were killers, but they also tried hard to remain human. They tried to shoot their targets from the back so they didn't know that they were going to die. That's too much kindness for me.
Yeah.
Let them sweat. After the war, when the sisters Truus and Freddie were asked how many people they had gunned down, they refused to give a specific number. You never ask a soldier how many people he's killed, was the response the Oversteegen sisters often gave to curious people they lectured on their wartime work. Polderman said she was close to the sisters for 20 years before writing her book. Having met them when she was 16 years old, when she was a 16-year-old high school student working on a history project on the late Hannie Schaft, who is considered one of the greatest wartime heroines in the Netherlands. Through a family friend, Poldermans met and interviewed one of the Oversteegens, prying out more information about their roles in the war that they had ever told even their own families. That's the only problem. Sometimes I'm reading all this shit and I'm like, fuck, I just need to go to the bullet points. After the war, they had post-traumatic stress and nightmares. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck.
It's state-based and it's also, completely funded, and even if it's on the right side of morality, you're essentially getting 3 high schoolers to become serial killers.
100%.
And that's going to have a serious toll on you, even if you're doing it, even if it's Nazis. It's still human life.
It's still killing. Yeah, no, I agree.
Like, you can dehumanize all you want. Only the Nazis could really, and sociopaths, psychopaths can really walk away. Okay. Yeah. And we're saying okay is very leveled.
That's very.
There's a lot of mental illness going on that other side of that conversation.
These people are sick as fuck. But like, these are young girls.
Yeah.
Who are, shit, dude.
They're fighting the war a different way, man, but they're fucking fighting it.
They are. And what's bad, well, let me continue. The sisters were also ostracized because they had worked closely with the Communist Party in a country that became Anti-Soviet after the war. Well, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. The Overstegens didn't receive a pension for their wartime work until well into the 60s, she said. Actually, they finally got paid. For many years, they suffered from depression and would wake up screaming from nightmares, especially during the anniversary of the liberation of the Netherlands by Allied troops. I wasn't born to kill, Truist told Poldermans. Do you know what that does to your soul? Yeah, that's... Whew. After each attack, Truist recalled she often fainted or broke down in tears. Which sounds like a normal human reaction, right?
To mass murder.
Yeah. When Poldermans completed her high school paper, the Overstegen sisters asked her to present her work at the annual conference they organized for Hanny. They were so impressed later they asked her to join the board of the National Hanny. Blah, blah, blah. In addition to killing Nazis, Hanny also worked to sabotage German military installations, bombing power lines and munitions shipments. The Overstegens worked closely with Hanny, part of an underground cell of 7 committed and fierce fighters. They were a formidable fighting force, although they refused to target the children of high-ranking Nazis. When they were ordered by the resistant commanders to kidnap 3 children of the Reich Commissioner Arthur Seyss-Inquart, the women refused. Resistance fighters do not kill children, Truist told Poldermans. We only fight against real fascists, not against children. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
well,
that's...
no, all right. So I'm torn on that.
Are you?
Yeah. Because if the intention is to never injure the children,
right.
If you're taking the children as a leverage point, and you're probably gonna, if you get the kids away from the Nazis, they're probably gonna have a better shot at life.
Oh, you're saying with kidnapping, not killing them.
No, I'm not. I'm not justifying killing the children.
Right. You're talking about kidnapping them.
Kidnapping them.
Yeah.
Because you could potentially use that as a leverage point against the Nazi that you took them from, but this is only with the idea that no harm would actually come to the children.
Right.
I'm not saying you kidnap them and you kill the children. I'm saying if you kidnap the children and then you basically okay, guys,
yeah,
this is what real life is actually about. We're not into
your parents are bad.
Yeah, your parent. Unfortunately, you drew a bad hand, but here's your option now.
Here's an opportunity. Right.
Here's an opportunity. So
yeah, well, I agree with you,
but I don't know the circumstance. They could have been killing everybody. They could have been fun killing everybody, and I wouldn't want to kill kids either. Kids would. I mean, even in a revenge situation, I'm not hurting a kid.
Yeah, even if a child was wearing a little fucking mini SS outfit or some shit, that's not their fault.
They didn't iron that.
Right.
They didn't pick that clothes out.
Still, they caused so much damage and killed so many Nazis that Hanny became an important wartime target. The girl with the red hair. I guess that's what she was known as. Her capture was deemed a high priority, ordered by Adolf Hitler himself. Shit, you're killing a lot of people if fucking Hitler's got your number.
Mm-hmm.
A marked woman, she went into hiding, dyeing her hair black and borrowing glasses. Even when the Nazis jailed her parents in order to pressure her to give up herself, Hanny refused. That's fucking tough. They're going to kill your parents.
Yeah.
Her family was eventually released when it became clear they had no information about their militant daughter. That's surprising as fuck.
Yeah. The Germans aren't really a catch and release group.
No, really not. They got lucky. That's some good karma.
Yeah.
Hanny was later captured on March 1945, picked up after a routine check, and taken to the Amsterdam House of Detention, where she was tortured by the Nazis. She was also placed in solitary confinement with a sign on her door that labeled her Morderin, or murderer.
Yeah, dude, I'm good with that. I'm good with that label. Come on.
Hanny was executed on April 17th, 1945, just 18 days before the liberation of the Netherlands. After the war, Supreme Allied Commander Dwight Eisenhower awarded Hanny a posthumous Medal of Freedom. Truist was honored by Yad Vashem in Jerusalem for her work in protecting Jews, and she and Freddie were awarded the Mobilization War Cross by the Dutch Prime Minister in 2014. Truist passed away in 2016 at the age of 92, and Freddie passed away 2 years later at the same age. They lived a long ass life. And I looked at some photos of these, ladies. They look like happy, older ladies who, just like, God, fucking imagine the stories, dude.
Oh, you guys want to
Grandma,
get some
tell me
brownies?
that one again about the Nazis.
Yeah. Which one do you want to hear?
Right. Before their deaths, the sisters told Poldermans that Hanny was defiant until the end, and they liked to repeat the story of her execution. Grandma, tell me the one about Hanny's execution, which has become the stuff of legend in the Netherlands, based on several police reports and witness statements. When the first bullet missed its mark, Hanny fixed the soldier sent to kill her with a steady glaze. She said, "Idiots." Oh, this is her final word. "Idiots, I shoot better than you." I was like, that's so fucking badass.
It kind of reminds me of Panzer.
Just
Panzerum.
Panzerum, except not a asshole.
Yeah, not an asshole.
Yeah. So those are some badass Nazi killing sisters, dude.
Yeah. No, I completely fucking agree, man.
So that is the one that you had heard somewhat about. I mean,
No,
I don't think there's any other famous
that's
women,
not
but
the story I think I remember. But,
oh, really?
I could be. I don't know enough about the story that I would ever argue that.
Right.
I have another story. You know what I'm saying? Like I could probably like research some shit, but
no. Well, so there is, like I said, the rabbit hole and misleading clickbait and all sorts of shit kept ending up with, oh no, it was a Nazi hunter different than a Nazi killer. Nazi hunters, they did the research and all that sort of shit, but not many people were known to go out and pull the trigger. You know what I mean? And so I kept either ending up on a story where, oh, it's another fucking dinner party massacre, Nazis winning, or it was these girls, these sisters and Hanny.
Yeah.
Were you gonna say something?
Well, no, I feel like, okay, this is the story that we needed, considering I did Space Nazis,
right?
But we also did Dr. Satan, who is same time period, definitely had access and ability to kill Nazis, and decided to kill his own people for financial gain.
Missed opportunity, prick.
And like literally could have been a national hero.
And still gotten money. And
still gotten money, still gotten fame and notoriety, but he's like, I'm just going to kill the French. I'm going to kill the people who are...
Well, he was horrible because he was preying on the vulnerable.
Yeah,
and
the
that
vulnerable
whole story
and weak.
Was,
But I mean, I feel like we needed this story. Like, we needed a Nazi killer.
Good. Well, then you understand exactly why I did it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not quite done because I like I said, I found a bunch of stuff about the girls, and then kept going down. Nothing good. And then all of a sudden, I came across this story of a group of Nazi killers.
Inglourious Bastards.
No, but actually, so I did. Actually, let me just read that because I took a screenshot of it. Because I was like, I wonder if they're based on, So the real bastards were a British commando force of largely Jewish exiles from Germany and Eastern Europe who were dubbed by Winston Churchill as X-Troops, which sounds as cool as the bastards, in my opinion. This is what the article said. Only the smartest and bravest were selected, and their knowledge of various European cities and villages were especially vital to their allied forces. Each man was given a British-sounding name as it was imperative. Why not be signaled out as a Jewish? Gans became Gray, Stein became Spencer, and so on. The commandos might not have been taking Nazi scalps, but each who joined the mission had a terrible backstory of leaving behind friends and family with the Gestapo, and wanted to get revenge. So that's not the group I was getting ready to talk about, though. This group that I was getting ready to tell you about is called the Avengers.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Okay, right. I had never heard anything about this group of people. Let me see if I got it right here. So Nakam, Nakam, it's Hebrew for revenge, was a group of about 50 Holocaust survivors who in 1945 sought to kill Germans and Nazis in revenge for the murder of 6 million Jews during the Holocaust. I'm like, fuck yeah. Led by Abba Kovner, the group sought to kill 6 million Germans in a form of indiscriminate revenge, a nation for a nation. Kovner went to mandatory Palestine in order to secure large quantities of poison for poisoning water mains to kill large numbers of Germans, and his followers infiltrated the water system of Nuremberg. However, Kovner was arrested by the British on his return to Europe and had to throw the poison overboard. Actually, somebody ratted him out. which sucks. I'm not gonna.
I don't know if I agree with you there, man. Like I understand being fucking super pissed, from a like the level of just destruction of families and hatred.
Right.
I understand that, but
Well, yeah.
indiscriminately murdering an entire population is exactly like, I get it's nation for a nation kind of thing, like is what their premise was.
Yeah.
But again, man, I'm not good. Like, I'm
Killing
not
innocent
good with.
people. No,
I'm
I
not
agree.
good with killing the kids. Like, I'm not
Wiping
good
out.
with.
Yeah.
Because kids are always. What do? You give the kid the fucking water first.
Yeah.
You give. So I don't know that I can.
No. And
This is revenge beyond revenge.
Well,
This
and I
is-
agree with you, 100%. I said that a little prematurely.
Right.
I mean, I'm pumped up about anybody who wants to kill fucking Nazis. You know what I mean? So,
Nazis, yes, 100%.
But-
100% kill all the Nazis.
but children of Nazis and everything. You're right.
Yeah.
No, you're right. So technically, luckily, that plan never
came
to play. Yeah, right. So they put in. They went to Plan B, which it was a mass poisoning of SS prisoners.
Okay, I'm good
You
with
okay
that.
with that?
I'm 100% good with that.
All right. So I'm going to read this bit. I think it's from like Wiki or something. Because Kovner had not managed to secure the quantity of poison required, the Nuremberg cell decided to switch to poisoning SS prisoners, definitely during the first months of 1946. Most of the Nakum action group disbanded as ordered, and their members dispersed into displaced persons camps. Promised by the leaders. Fuck off. Oh, stop. Did I say 100%?
No.
Oh, this motherfucker. Somebody called me out for saying 100%. Now I said it earlier, and I was like, don't. Damn it. Fuck you. Promised by the leaders that in future they would be reactivated to implement Plan A. The cells in Nuremberg and Dachau maybe remained active because of the large United States prisoner of war camps nearby. Yitzhak Ratner was recruited
Yitzhak, but yeah, man, that's like the first name I think in the whole list that you've nailed. So good job.
Hey,
Hats off for you.
all right. He was the first. Ratner was recruited into the group to obtain poison locally. In October 1945, he set up a laboratory in the Nakum headquarters in Paris, where he tested various formulations in order to find a tasteless, odorless poison that would have delayed effects. Ratner eventually formulated a mixture of arsenic, glue, and other additives which could be painted onto loaves of bread. Tests on cats proved, the lethality of the mixture. Poor fucking cats.
Yeah, man. Got to break some eggs, man.
Yeah, I guess.
Got to break some eggs to make a death omelet.
He obtained more than 18 kilograms, which is like 40 pounds, of arsenic from friends who worked in the tanning industry, which he smuggled into Germany. Nakum focused on Langwasser internment camp, Langwasser, near Nuremberg, where 12,000 to 15,000 prisoners, mainly former SS officers or prominent Nazis, were imprisoned by the United States. Initially, 2 Nakum members were hired by the camp, one as a driver, another as a storehouse worker. The bread for Langwasser came from a single bakery in Nuremberg. And I'm not even going to try to fucking pronounce that one. Lepke Distel, maybe? A survivor of several Nazi concentration camps, posed as a Polish displaced person awaiting a visa to work at an uncle's bakery in Canada. He asked the manager if he could work for free and eventually secured access to the bakery storeroom after bribing him with cigarettes, alcohol, and chocolate. Cigarettes, alcohol, and chocolate. That's all it takes, boy.
I hear that's how you distract the slit face.
That's it. Throw chocolate at her. The Nakum operatives met each night in a rented room in Firth to discuss their findings, especially how to confine their attack to the German prisoners and avoid harming the American guards.
Okay.
All right. Better, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Harmatz placed a few of the workers in clerical positions in the camp, they discovered that on Sundays the black bread would be eaten only by the German prisoners because the American guards were specifically issued white bread. It's racist.
Racist as fuck, man.
Therefore, they decided to execute the attack on a Saturday night. Just because of time frame, and it's a really long article. you kind of get the gist.
Yeah.
Here's the weird thing. Now, according to this article, they were successful. They put the poison, they like brushed it onto the bread or whatever, and the guys actually ate it. People got sick, but it said that no one died. Now, I read a couple other things, and one of the articles said that hundreds of people died. Others said that thousands. But this one said that no one died at all. And they said, here, let me get to the end of it, that according to documents obtained by a Freedom of Information request to the National Archives and Records Administration, the amount of arsenic found in the bakery was enough to kill approximately 60,000 persons. It is unknown why the poisoners failed, but it is suspected either to be that they spread the poison too thinly, or else the prisoners realized that the bread had been poisoned and did not eat very much.
But yet they still ate. I don't know about that, man.
Yeah, so that is Wikipedia, where I read that some of that bit there. The other articles that I read, people said that they did die. They got super sick, and that some of them actually died, like hundreds. So the way I want the story to go is that every one of the SS members,
Right.
we're fucking wiped out. But that's not the truth. So, unfortunately, I don't have a solid ending because there was all different statistics.
Right. Well, no, I mean we've had that history issue on other things. I think as much as I want that to be the ending, I don't like. I hate Inglourious Bastards.
You didn't like the movie?
No, I fucking hate it.
Wow.
Like I loved everything until the end, and then the end was so bad it ruined the rest of the movie for me.
Wow.
I fucking hated what's his new one? The fucking
Hollywood?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I fucking hated that.
See, I'm looking forward to that one, man.
Because
with the Manson stuff. Man.
Well, because it doesn't do us any justice to change history. You know, like stop telling me this little fairy tale. Like, you know,
well, in the Glorious, but didn't like Hitler get shot in the face in the movie theater or something?
You know, they like set the movie theater on fire,
right,
and then they
right.
fucking mow everybody down with machine guns, which is very, very. It's a kind of a feel good moment, I guess, but the fact of the matter is, like, Hitler was crying some say that Hitler was crying like a little bitch in the fucking bunker and shot himself in the face.
Right.
Which, if you believe that Hitler killed himself in the bunker, then that's a much more gratifying story to me.
Right.
That he turned out to be a little bitch than, you know.
Wasn't he like super, like, he was an addict?
Oh yeah, he was addicted to
highly
heroin
addicted
and
to
shit.
something. Yeah.
They did some study of Hitler's pharmaceuticals, and they were like, "Well, this counteracts that." And he was on like 27 different things at one point, and he was like super addicted to like heroin, and
yeah, he was a fuck up.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to give Hitler a pass, obviously,
right,
at all. But there is some argument to be said for the fact that Hitler was bad, but there were other people that were way worse.
Yeah, well,
they were now that you're asking me, I can't.
No shit, you talked about him in the last.
Yeah,
in the
Goebbels.
Thank you. I was like, Gruber's not right.
No, he got thrown off Nakatomi Tower in 1987.
Hans Gruber. No shit. That's fucking funny. But I was like, it sounds so right.
But I will say, the one thing I'll say about Hitler is, as crazy fuck as he is and terrible as he was, when someone like that gets in power, it opens up the floodgates for the truly just horrific people to kind of pull the strings and to get away with horrible things. Like he was bad enough.
I agree 100%.
And then he did all this other, he had all these other things happen underneath his reign because he allowed these horrible people to get into.
Oh, he let monsters be monsters, dude.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. And
he fucking was their cheerleader, dude.
Yeah, he wanted
High
all
five,
of that.
good job.
Yeah,
bro.
So But to me, it is the idea is better that he was crying in the fucking corner, like
died miserable and afraid and fucking I agree. I agree. And that's how I want to paint the story for me in my mind, because that's how I'm going to sleep better, knowing that
there's a shit ton of like stories out there that Hitler like actually escaped, and
I know there's a documentary like Hunting Hitler or something. And I'm like, hold the fuck on.
And like all this stuff about like it was like a body double that was left in the fucking the bunker. Like,
dude was too fucked up to be that fucking.
I don't know that anybody like I don't think that he gets anywhere in the world at that point, and anybody's like, oh no, you're Hitler. Like,
yeah, we'll help you out, dude.
Yeah, no, like we aren't going to be anywhere near you.
Nowhere. Everyone is trying to kill you.
Everyone is trying to kill you.
In fact, I want to kill you.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Japanese, they were your buddies during the war. They want to kill you right now.
Yeah, dude, you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, so
you're the most hated human on the planet.
It's harder for me to believe that he got away.
Yeah, I agree.
But there were a fucking shit ton of SS officers and Nazi officers that actually did get out of Germany before the war ended and after the war ended. So I guess in response to the statement that you were making about some people say it was thousands, some people say it was hundreds, some people say nobody.
Yeah.
I really feel like that is a story that the reason that the National Archives come back and say that no one died is because it was something that they weren't going to put that on paper.
Right.
They were just going to be like, no.
U.S. soldiers were in charge, by the way.
Yeah, so we're just going to sweep this one under the carpet.
It makes some people look kind of bad. If
the real way, the way that all this stuff ever gets figured out is like accounting and inventory.
Right.
So like if one day like they're bringing in this much food, and then the next 2 weeks it drops down to like
they got
significant
less food,
amounts,
or there's extras. We had seconds.
Yeah. That's how you figure out that like
motherfuckers are dead.
That motherfuckers are dead.
Yeah.
So I would actually be more interesting. It would be more interesting to read the inventory counts pre and post.
Good call.
That's how you actually solve anything anymore. It's never like in the official record. Right. It's like, oh, well, we went from, they needed 800 new fucking towels every other day to, oh, they need 40. Like,
right.
Like, oh, okay, something happened to the population there.
Well, so even if you believe the story or you, for whatever reason, know for the part of the story to be true that no one in that attempt was killed, the Avengers were successful in killing quite a few fucking retired Nazis that were hiding out and shit. What they basically would do, all like secretive. This is why I thought it was the Inglourious Bastards,
right,
which was Madoff, but it wasn't. But they would literally go around and they would find the retired Nazi, whatever, if they're hiding or whatever. But and they would kill them and they would hang them. In fact, what they said, I read a story that they said that they would put them on top of the car with a noose and they would drive off. Made it look like they killed themselves, or they would literally run them over and then crash. They were getting away with it because they were killing them and making it look like it was accidents.
That's awesome.
And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" So at least there was 100% they killed some Nazis.
Yeah, no, they definitely. I've heard of that group. I hadn't heard of the poisoning aspect of it. I'd heard of the accident.
Right. The Avengers.
The Avengers story. I mean,
those are cool as Avengers.
Everything that I had ever read, it was like the real Avengers,
right.
And that's the way they kind of play it online.
Yeah,
it's definitely clickbait online a lot of times.
Yeah,
but I think this is definitely a story worth clicking on.
Yeah, finally I got to one where I was like, because I went through a bunch and I was like, oh, okay, fuck yeah, here we go. And then I was like, no, I need to make sure that there's more articles to back this up, so it's not just one like fictional. It's not creepypasta, right? And then what did I say? It was the Karam? No, the Nakam, Nakam.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's a cool ass name to give them because it in Hebrew it's revenge.
Yeah.
So Avengers or Nakam, either way, badass names. And fucking, if I was going to be doing anything at that point in time, I'd hope to be on that team.
Right. Yeah, are you guys drafting?
You're right. Sign me up.
Right.
And the three little ladies, man. Unfortunately, Hanny, I think, she didn't make it. But dude, she went out
like a fucking boss,
like a G, dude.
And
yeah.
But the other thing is, like, they needed to honor the two that survived instead of shitting on them for fucking 40 years, man.
Yeah.
They needed to completely, like, those bitches never had to pay for anything. You know, they should have been in fucking mansions. They should have had a parade for both of them every fucking weekend. Like, we're gonna go to the
yeah, they Truus Menger Overstegen, she ended up being like a sculptor and a painter, like
I don't give a shit if she was bad at it. Like, $1 million.
Yeah, oh dude,
everything you do.
Like they ended up getting, you know, respects paid to them. You know, I mean, they towards the end of their life, people were like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, they got shit on for like 40 years or some shit.
Yeah, and I don't know.
It wasn't until the 60s that it was even. I think you said it was in the 60s that they even got like a pension for the.
Yeah, it was in the 60s.
Did they maybe come to the United States and kill Werner von Braun? Make it look like a fucking heart attack.
Make it look like a heart attack. That would be badass.
But, you know.
Yeah, I mean, these are like these cool, like older hippie ladies that are just like, man, fucking.
Yeah.
Y'all got shit on us.
Yeah.
Like, there's no story that you can tell that I can't top.
Yeah.
So,
what would be hilarious is like the kids that immediately discount them.
Right.
Like, oh, I don't want to cuss in front of you. Like, bitch, you know how many fucking Nazis I killed?
Yeah.
Trust me. Fuck you and you say damn around me. You say shit in front of me.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to watch what I say around you.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I figured I'd flip the script a little bit and bring some...
You brought serial killers and mass murderers to us in a happy way.
But they were killing Nazis, so we're okay. Nazis. They're the best kind of serial killer.
Yeah, it's the good serial killers.
Now, are they serial killers or mass murderers?
I think under this... technically, if you go by the FBI...
oh, yeah, serial killers.
There are serial killers. I don't know. I haven't gotten... I didn't look up the FBI's definition of mass
I think we made
murderer.
a joke about, I don't think there's any good serial killers. We were wrong.
We were wrong.
There were three.
These were employed by the Dutch government in World War II.
That's awesome.
But, I mean, I think even the conversation about Dr. Satan, you know, it really is that guise of like... I mean, the government could probably grab your Dahmers and your fucking Ted Bundys and, well, I mean, some of them, their catch and kill methodos is probably does not translate to war.
No, it doesn't.
But, I mean, if you had your Panzerums, you know, and you fucking take him out of prison and you're like, all right, man, we're going to take you out of prison. We're going to drop you off in the middle of wherever.
Yeah.
And you get a baseball bat. Just go and kill everybody you can get your hands on.
Yeah. Call Pedro.
You know, and fuck it, man. We consider your crimes kind of wiped clean. If we find you back in the United States, we're gonna fucking kill you on the spot.
Yeah. But if not, we'll turn our heads.
Yeah, but we're gonna drop you off in the middle of here, and you kill your way to the other side of the country.
Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah.
Godspeed.
You get zero assistance from the United States government after we drop your ass off at the shore. But, you know, I mean...
Yeah.
I mean, it's just... It would be country finance.
Country finance.
Sociopaths and serial killers just running around in populated areas.
Make a good movie.
But, I don't know that... Like, it can't be indiscriminate like that, you know? Like, I don't...
What do you mean?
Well, like the first plot of Makram was to just poison everybody. You know? So like if you're just or if you just dropping off serial killers into the population, that usually is going to have the innocents are always the easiest ones to find and kill, I would imagine.
Yeah, of course.
So, you know, you're not pulling together the upper echelon of the SS if you did this.
No, Plan A was bad. It was. I understand, like you said, I understand why they were pissed and
Right.
why that was a plan. Like,
Yeah, I understand how they got to that mindset.
I can't say that if I was them, I wouldn't have been
Done
on
the same
board.
thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's easy to sit back here all
Yeah,
comfy and be like, "Oh, I would never do that."
Well, no, I know,
But-
and that's kind of why I said the beginning bit, where it's like I get where they were. I understand the headspace that they were in. In retrospect,
Right.
I was like, we need to kind of pull back on the stick a little bit.
I
Man.
can imagine. Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like a better use of your time and resources is killing the fuckers in the prison.
Oh yeah, there's a group of them. They're all together.
They're all together, and these are the motherfuckers that instigated the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of killing the fucking paper man who's been hiding out for however many years in the fucking basement trying not to be a Nazi.
Trying his hardest.
He just couldn't get out of town, and now you're gonna fucking poison him.
Like, I swear, I'm not a fucking.
I didn't fucking do anything.
Guilty by association.
Yeah, guilty by association. There's a difference, though. Like, guilty by association if you're just a poor bastard who can't get out of town, versus guilty by
air quotes guilty by
association, and you work for the fuckers.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Yeah. All right.
So, I'm happy. I'm happy you brought this story.
Are you?
I'm
I
glad.
figured you'd
glad,
like it.
I'm
All
glad
right.
you brought an audible, but I felt like I gave you two really good subjects, so I was surprised
you
that
did.
you brought an audible.
And Bronson, I was stoked about. I am still stoked about.
Yeah.
You know what's weird about Bronson, and I don't want to talk too much about it.
What's weird about Bronson?
Well, dude, there's a lot of like Panzerum-esque. I kept going. Well, shit, it's some similarities.
Yeah.
And a lot of differences. Like, in
Right.
no way is he Panzerum.
Yeah, no.
Panzram, whatever the fuck.
Panzerum.
But no,
Panzerum.
I'm excited about that one. Now, the Roanoke colony, that...
We've talked about this one off air. Like, it's gonna.
yeah.
You gotta have some. It's gonna take some effort to put that story together.
Yeah, for sure. And I have to find the
Angle.
spark, well, the angle, but I have to find a spark that all of a sudden goes, oh, that's cool. Now I'm excited, and that's what I'm going to go. But honestly, Bronson's more fun.
Yeah.
And then this was like on accident rabbit hole because I was looking at pictures of douchebag, and I was
Panzerum?
like, yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh fuck, I need a good story about Nile. Oh yeah, cool. Oh, cool.
Oh, you weren't looking at Panzerum. You were looking at.
Oh no, the space
Werner von Braun.
Werner von Braun. Yeah, because and then that led me to thinking about Inglourious Bastards, and I googled who were the real.
Yeah.
And then it was like, and then I found the ladies, and then
Yeah.
from there, and then
It was a good story, man. I
Cool.
I appreciate the historical factor of it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the ride, so to speak.
Word.
It's good to hear Nazis catching it in the cornhole as opposed to getting jobs afterwards.
100%.
Yeah.
I can't believe you fucking texted me that shit. I'm like trying to read. I suck at reading this shit anyway when I'm trying to like
Yeah.
think off the cusp. But
Well, I
I'm
thought
like,
it was funny.
it was funny.
All right. Well,
All
it's
right.
a good story,
Well,
man.
Next week I'm gonna do
Something,
probably
whatever the fuck
Bronson.
whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
Apparently,
I say Bronson, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
You never fucking know.
All right.
All right, good shit.
Good shit, man.